Samuel Varg writes, what movie would you pick that was good when it first came out but hasn't aged well? For me, it's Highlander.
I don't know, man. Highlander for me, I can watch over and over and over. Still in my top 10 all-time favorite films of all time list. So Highlander for me is definitely one. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, if you want to talk about what films don't age well as far as the visual effects don't age well or things like that, I mean, there's lots of films you could throw in there. I can't really think of a lot of films that I've always liked because of the story, and now I don't find the story interesting. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Can you?
Not really. I mean, I think when a film doesn't age well, it's flawed from the beginning. I just think the cracks show more easily over time. I think, you know, with the way films and television were made in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and even 70s, everything was a lot slower paced. Just because of the technology and the way we're used to making films, being able to, the delivery system of making film was editing, and now everything's digital. It's a quicker way of everything sped up. So not only is just like, are we like tied to our phones and digital information, and we're like doing 3 or 4 things at the same time. The edits are faster. Everything's quicker. They try to cram more stuff in. So when you watch an older film, a lot of younger people feel like, oh, it's slower. It's more boring. You have to just get into a different mindset when you watch older films. That doesn't really answer that question. I can't really think of anything that right off the top of my head didn't age right. I guess recently, I know a lot of people would be like, blasphemy. Is like I watched Caddyshack and it didn't hold up to my memories of Caddyshack. So sometimes like you'll have something that you saw when you were like younger and you're like, my God, this thing is incredible. And then you watch it, it was like, it's still good, but there's a lot of flat parts, you know?
What about you?
I'm probably gonna get ostracized for saying this. I don't think the Richard Donner original Superman holds up for me. I actually prefer Man of Steel now. The more I watch it, I know it's kind of a hard thing to say because that's such a classic. But the more I watch the Richard Donner first one, Superman, Christopher Reeve I think is fantastic. I love his look. He looks, when I think of Clark Kent in my head, I see him. But I just doesn't hold up for me. For some reason, Man of Steel, I'm just talking about Superman movies, speaks to me more. Some older films hold up fantastic. The Godfather 1 and 2 I actually rewatch every year. We were talking about Citizen Kane before this. I love Citizen Kane. Right. Casablanca, I can watch those movies once a year. But Superman, I've gone back to watch the original one. It doesn't hold up. It doesn't speak to me. For me, Man of Steel does for some reason. Even I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. It's just the way I feel about that one.
Right on.
All right, what's next?
Kobe Bean writes, any updates on the upcoming Jason Segel film based on the 2012 Canadian maple syrup heist?
Oh my God, I almost forgot about that Quebec story. No, now that I'm glad you brought it up. I don't think I've heard one single lick about it since we first talked about it like a year and a half ago. Maybe 2 years ago when we first came up about it. It's based on a true story of an actual heist involving maple syrup in Quebec. And I remember the news dropped about it, that they were looking at that, and I was really fascinated by it. But now that you mention it, no, I haven't heard one lick about it. Have you guys heard anything?
No.
All right, what's next?
Rama Ahmadi writes, hey guys, my question is, best poker movie not named Rounders?
I got to look up the title here. It's the one with Werner Herzog is in it and Woody Harrelson. I'll let you. While I look up the name of it, I think it's called The Grand. Let me look it up here. The Grand movie. Let me see if I've got this right.
Well, this isn't necessarily poker, but I really like The Cooler with William H. Macy.
Cooler.
Right.
Yeah, that wasn't poker. That was just like any game. You know, he would go and cool them off, like ruin their hot streak.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It's a very fun movie. So.
But it is called The Grand. And listen to this line. Okay, it's Woody Harrelson, David Cross, Dennis Farina, Cheryl Hines, Richard Kind, Chris Parnell, Werner Herzog, Jason Alexander, Ray Romano, Mike Epps, Judy Greer. I mean, it's just an incredible thing. And it's about this. There's a whole. If you are into poker, like I'm huge into poker, then you'll recognize a lot of real life poker stars are in that. Like Phil Hellmuth's in it and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be, it takes place, it's a fictional thing about this rich Las Vegas guy who owned these casinos has passed away, and he set up a poker tournament, where it's just winner take all. No second place money, third place, whatever. And it's just first place. Woody Harrelson enters it, but Werner Herzog, to me, steals it. Now, most of you will know Werner as a director, stuff like that, but he's done a little bit of acting. But he plays this guy who always talks like this. And it's kind of done from a narrative. It's a mix. You know, some movies and TV shows do it like a documentary style, like The Office or Parks and Recreation. This is kind of a mix of narrative and documentary style. So every once in a while, they're sitting down and talking to Werner Herzog. And every time they interview him, you realize he's petting a different animal. He's sitting in his chair, petting a different animal. And then finally, a question comes up, and I can't remember it exactly, but it's like, how do you maintain your vigor? Like a poker session can be 12 hours long, 14 hours long, day in, day out. How do you maintain that? And Werner Herzog, the way only Werner Herzog could say a line, and I'm not doing it any justice, but Werner Herzog, he's sitting there, I think he's petting a rabbit at the time. He's like, it is important to stay in touch with your natural side. It is important for me every day to kill at least one living thing with my bare hands. And he's sitting there, and then you realize his hotel room is like filled with all these animal cages, and some of them are empty now, and you're like, oh! But anyway, it's called The Grand. It never got a theatrical release, I don't believe, but look it up. I thought it was hilarious. I had a really good time watching it. So aside from Rounders, that is probably
what game were they playing in Casino Royale?
That's what I was gonna say. Casino Royale.
Yeah,
that was
they're
poker.
they're playing poker.
That's a great
Casino Royale.
scene.
Yeah, that's like a good 40-minute scene. It's a very long scene that really plays the tension. You know, Mads Mikkelsen's blood tear.
Yeah, his tell. He was looking for the
his
tell. Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Not necessarily a poker movie. What about Ocean's 11? Do you guys like
Yeah,
that?
it's a good Vegas movie. Good
I
Vegas
love
movie.
as a Vegas
Yeah.
movie. As it's a couple things because I love Vegas movies because I go to Vegas a lot. I love the feel. That's why I like Las Vegas. But it's a Vegas movie. It's a great heist movie. I really like the Ocean series.
Anthony Rodriguez writes, are you excited for Mockingjay Part 2?
Yes. Yeah, I am. Look, I do not like the books. I read all the books and I didn't like them. I didn't hate them either, but I have really enjoyed the movies, especially the second one. What was the second Hunger Games?
Catching Fire.
Catching Fire. Catching Fire was a fabulous follow. I really enjoyed the first one. I didn't love the first one. I really enjoyed the first one. Love the second one. I really did enjoy the third one as well, although it was a little, I don't know that they should have split it into two parts. Because it felt a little too setup heavy, and now I'm afraid the last one might be a little bit payoff heavy instead of a nice mixture of the two, like the second one was. But I am a fan of the Hunger Games film franchise. Very excited about seeing this next one right now. What about you, Schnapp?
Yeah, I am too. I think the entire franchise it was great. It's a great vehicle for Jennifer Lawrence. All the acting has been fun. It's definitely it reminded me a lot of that Battle Royale. And I had never seen Battle Royale, and I finally saw it like a few months ago, and I was like, wow, all right, I see where, there's so many similarities, but I'm looking forward to the finale. I don't think it's the finale. They're gonna make more sequels, You
think they'll do some prequels in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, what about you, David?
Oh, I'm excited for this. Yeah, because I wasn't. Second one's my favorite, Catching Fire. 2, I thought, like Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1, it was just a lot. You knew they were milking it because, snap, pull that truck.
Yeah.
To get all the cash going in. So I'm excited for that. I think this one's going to be fantastic.
All right.
I was bragging before we started that I got to see it last week. It was amazing.
Totally.
Not
Did you
gonna
get to
lie.
see it last week?
I did. I got to see it last week. It was super awesome. I'm so excited for everyone to see it so I can actually talk about it.
Did Wendy take you?
No. I know some people.
Well, so. Okay, what's next?
Marcos Vieira writes, is there any chance of Inside Out being among the Oscar nominees for Best Film?
Yes, it will depend on, once again, the number of nominees. If there's a risk it won't be if it's a 5 nominee year. If it is a 7 nominee year or greater, I think it's almost a lock that it'll get nominated. I'm going to be really disappointed if it's not. So I believe there's a very good chance. I'm not going to say lock, but I believe it's a very good chance you're going to see Inside Out as nominated as one of the best pictures. What do you guys think the chances are?
I think chances are high, and I hope it happens. Is it still? Are we up 9 or 10 for Best Picture? Is it still? Can it get to that? Is that still the number right now?
It can go as high as 9 or 10. 9 or 10 is possible, depending on how the voting goes.
But I hope so. I thought it was fantastic. I love this. Pixar does it every time. Not every time. I'm not that big into the cars, but with like Up, Wall-E, they always just seem to pull on the heartstrings every single time for me. I lost it at the end. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm in the minority. I didn't really like Inside Out that much.
Oh my
Did not
gosh.
pull my
No soul.
heartstrings.
No soul.
Sorry.
No soul.
Or perhaps too smart. It just didn't do it for me, but I liked it. I just didn't love it, so I don't think it deserves an Oscar. There you go. How's that for a bummer?
On that note,
What's next?
Jesus Galindo writes, what are your plans for this Thanksgiving?
To me, Thanksgiving was in October. I'm Canadian. I don't even know, I don't even know what American Thanksgiving is.
That's right.
So everybody on the staff always asks me, "Oh, so what are we doing for Thanksgiving?" He's like, "I don't even. When's your Thanksgiving? I have no idea when it. It's cultural difference. I guess Thanksgiving in the U.S. is a really big deal. Like almost on the level. What I've discovered here is almost on the level of Christmas. And with some people, it's a bigger holiday than Christmas. In Canada, it's a holiday, but I mean, Christmas is the holiday, and Thanksgiving is just. Another day, kind of, so it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah. So what am I doing for Thanksgiving? Probably watching some football. That's probably going to a movie and watching some football. That'll be me. What about you, Sinead?
I think we're going to go do like a potluck with a bunch of friends. We've done that. Sometimes we'll go, go to different friends' houses, or we'll have it at our house. So this year we're going to just probably end up going to some friend's house and have a big, friend Thanksgiving freak out food fest. So.
That's right. Thanksgiving changes depending on how as you age. When I was a kid, it was because we're celebrating the time that it was such good times between the colonies and the Native Americans. You get a little older, you realize it wasn't such good times, and then it just becomes about football and food. And now it's a good time to watch some movies. Apollo Creed movie's coming out that weekend, so I'm excited to see Creed. Yeah, I want to go see Creed. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Let's take two more.
All right. Steven writes, did they make Ben Affleck's Batman too old?
No, I think it's great. If you're going to tell this story, then you need him this age. He's got to be this age. If you're talking about the grizzled, rough, like veteran of a lot of crime-fighting wars who's been through it and then had stepped away from it and is coming back, and that's the story you're telling, then you can't go any younger than this. This is the right age. This is the guy, and I think they've handled this totally perfectly. I'm excited for it, Schnepp.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Dark Knight Returns, basically. Like, he's been away for a while. We'll see if that was like the young Clark Kent was imitating him with the red cape when he was a kid, because he couldn't be imitating himself. I think it's perfect casting. I really am very excited to see what they do with this film. So
I'm excited too. I think I would have loved to have seen if it was 20 years earlier, maybe 25, Clint Eastwood as Batman.
Yeah,
I know
25 years ago.
Just the voice and the look, and I mean, I would have loved to see Clint Eastwood in the role. But Ben Affleck's perfect. I think I love the gray streaks in his hair. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I remember about 2 or 3 years ago, before they announced Ben Affleck, before they announced that even they were doing Batman v Superman, so it was longer, probably about 3 years ago. I remember thinking, if you ever did a live action adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns, I actually saw Sylvester Stallone. Playing it, like not talking in his heavy Stallone-ish voice, but when you thought about who Bruce Wayne is in The Dark Knight Returns, that I always thought he could be an interesting choice for that. 20 years ago, Clint Eastwood would have been that guy.
Yes,
Clint Eastwood would totally been that guy 20 years ago. All right, last question of the day.
Eric Berg 646260 writes, do you guys think Fox will ever make a second Dragon Ball movie?
No.
Yeah, I don't think anyone went and saw the first one.
No one saw the first one. Totally
What's Dragon
bombed.
Ball?
Right, it's Gem and the Holograms. But
no, it's a big. It's a big franchise.
That's
a big franchise.
Different question than will they ever, throw it all out the window and try just rebooting it at some point. I won't fall over shock if that happens. But a second one, no, absolutely off the books. A rebooted one, possible. I mean, there are a lot of pop culture things that meant for kids that I watch and then I can get into and I think are really cool. And I'll play the unpopular one. I think Dragon Ball is stupid. I really do. But that's just me. That doesn't mean you should think it's stupid or anybody else should think it's stupid. I'm sure there's things that I like that you think is stupid. Totally cool, totally fair. I've never understood the appeal of anything related to Dragon Ball. One of my best friends up in Canada at the time was so into it and got me to watch it, and I'm just like, it's every episode's the same. It all looks exactly some friends of mine will pop up some clips on YouTube and I watch them. It's like, this looks like the exact same clip, and then let me guess, he's going to jump in the air and a big bright light will shine behind him and he'll scream something and there'll be a big explosion. Whatever. That's just me. I think Dragon Ball is stupid, but I have great friends who are super smart and have great taste who do love Dragon Ball Z. I know a lot of people love Dragon Ball Z. Enough so that I do think at some point, Fox or another studio will take a crack at trying to launch a franchise for it. And I think it's got enough fans in the world that it warrants it. I mean, the first one they tried, total failure. The quality was awful. Nobody wanted to go see it opening weekend before they even knew the quality was awful. But I think it's got enough of a fan base that at some point they will get a shot. What do you think, Schnapp?
Well, I had an ongoing joke with some friends that Dragon Ball's really just like two old men. That should be the sequel, Dragon Balls 2, and it's just two old naked men. Oh, God. That's all I got.
I think you can see it. It's big. I mean, we go to Comic-Con, you still see
Absolutely,
cosplay.
yeah.
It still has a name. I mean, I think maybe just needs a fresh approach, a new approach.
Yeah,
Reboot.
Yes.
A totally different approach than what they did with that original. And I think if you do, look, I'm one who always says that your job is not to stick, the movie maker's job is not to stick to the source materials, to make the best movie you could. Well, guess what? In the first one, they decided not to stick to the source material at all, and they made a piece of shit movie. It's just awful. How about this time? Just to try to go different from what you tried and failed, try sticking to the source material. I mean, I never say that you have to do that, but you tried going really far away from the source material. It did not work at all. If you do make another one, try sticking a little bit more to the source material and please that fan base that is out there that is already fans of this property. Right. And I think you're going to see better results, but who knows? We will have to wait and see.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.